I've said this before, and I just said this out loud in my room. I don't know if you people have access to my room or not, your audio or my telepathy, whatever. I'm not trying to be a shitbag. I'm not trying to be rude, but I need to make something clear. Just don't be that guy who keeps ignoring what I'm telling you. These kids are desperate. They're deceitful. They're deceptive. They're probably lying about how many people have this implantation technology, who they sold it to, who has access to these implantation satellites, or what their technology is capable of. They're probably lying to you about so much stuff. It's scary. How many things have they lied about? Literally everything. So what else are they lying about? So don't open the doors by ignoring this to where these kids run around and start putting devices on it because these kids are desperate. Many of these kids are driven, their navigators are desperation. Their navigators are blackmailed by a desperate stromboli. Their navigators are emotions, and their navigators are greed and pursuit of fame and power. Bad navigators. And when you have those as navigators, you make bad decisions and you make wrong turns. So, key point, those are their navigators. So don't let this situation blow up and wish you would have gotten involved and arrested these kids earlier. Because when I tell you what these people are capable of, I ain't bullshitting, I ain't exaggerating. They can implant people's hearts covertly, and they can induce cardiac arrhythmias or even myocardial infarctions and God knows what else. And they could be, while everyone's being distracted with one thing or another, some other people in their little community of terrorists could be floating around putting devices in key targets' hearts or all sorts of people at random's hearts, and then link it to a button where they could kill a million people just at a touch of a button. So someone needs to arrest these terrorists and these criminals and thugs. Someone needs to shut their goddamn satellites down. And like I said, these kids lie about everything. They're deceitful and deceptive. So they're probably lying about how many of these implantation satellites they've got as well. So keep that in mind. That's another key point. Because always remember, they may tell you, oh, it's safe, blah, blah, blah. And they may be trying to tone down the threat. They may be trying to make you think there's less of a threat than there is, or they're trying to cover up some of their threat and acting like it's under control, this and that. Well, it's not. Or they're trying to make you think they're controlling it while they're some of the terrorists. So be wary. And they may be lying about how many satellites they got and what else they're, all the technology they've got and all the tech and what their tech is capable of. So that's a potential. So you need to nip this in the bud and get these satellites out of space or blow them up, EMP beam them, or shut them down and get these kids in prison as soon as possible. Get the truth, because these kids are stalking me and monitoring me 24/7. They're desperate and they're extremely desperate. But yeah, these kids are doing severe crimes, and that is a threat. And I assure you, it's a great potential. And these kids are even they even lie about who's involved with them. Okay, so they may not even tell you every little implantation terrorist is involved in their little community of terrorists and scum. So be wary. Don't let that happen, and don't be that guy. I've been warning you guys. I've been telling you about these terrorists for a while. I'm a victim of the tech, so I know what the tech is capable of. And I've been hearing all sorts of stuff that they also try to lie and do false demonstrations of reality and the reality of the telepathy environment. So they've been lying about all the different people I've been hearing, potentially all over the world. Key point, and they're covering that up for a reason. So you think he's psychotic or just part of a human programming experiment and not hearing the real information. So keep that in mind. So they could just be trying to trick you. They are deceitful and deceptive and lying bastards. So what's in my earliest DOJ letter, 2019? There's all sorts of jazz. And then if you look at the suspect and then see who they're linked to and see who else they are linked to, it may open your eyes. And like I said, the way to narrow down the 2 degrees, behavioral patterns, see if they're following the same behavioral patterns and other stuff. I sent that to law enforcement too. Key point.